Hello everyone, this is Maurice from the Triple M Model Railroad. If you hear a lot of noise in the background, my apologies. Currently I am crypto mining with one of my computers, and what you hear is the fans at full power. So if anybody knows anything about crypto mining, especially when it comes to crypto mining from your computer, it's going to make a lot of noise. Without further ado, as you can see here, I actually have an Athearn Genesis ES44 AC CSX scheme, road number 5224. And what is special about this particular engine? All right, if you have a keen eye and if you know your prototypes, this locomotive is not supposed to be blue. It's actually supposed to be like a ghost gray. And this was actually painted for a client, and they've done a very good job, I have to admit. They did a very good job. It actually looks pretty authentic. The only issue that I actually see right offhand is the handrails in the front, right here. And I'm actually gonna touch these up because I also have some CSX paint, so I'll just touch them up and they'll be pretty good. But this is a custom paint job. It's lightly weathered. It wasn't overkilled when it comes to the weathering, so it looks pretty good. I mean, I like the way it looks. Very nice. Very nice job. Now, you may be asking, okay, why do you have this engine? Well, the client wasn't happy about one thing. This client is very picky, and I'm trying to teach this client sometimes it's not good to be too picky, but it is what it is. And when whoever had painted this model, I don't know what he did or why he did it, but if you look at the ditch lights, for some reason the ditch lights are like an orange-yellow color. And I'm going to be honest, I don't quite understand why this was done. I mean, in my opinion, I think it looks cool. To be quite frank, this looks kind of cool with the orange yellow. Something different. And also, what else is different is that the white cab is missing also, and that was intentional because the client doesn't like the white on top. Now the prototypical reason why it is white on top is due to in the summer the cab gets very hot, especially the roof. So they painted white to actually deflect the heat from the sunlight. But other than that, yeah, it's just this. It's just the yellowish lights. Now I got to take a look at it, see how it looks when I put it to track power. But other than that, the model was well done. It looks, it looks pretty darn authentic. I mean, sometimes paint jobs can't be like super perfect. Like this is not super perfect. And you don't really want it super perfect unless you like it looking like a toy. You know, some of the paint is rough around the edges, but that is understandable because this actually makes the model pop, believe it or not. You know, if you really look up very closely, you'll see some imperfections, but this is what you actually want. Um, you know, especially for some reason, the HO scale, it actually works very well. You know, HO scale is actually the sweet spot when it comes to scale trains, and when it comes to size and scalability. For for some reason, it does look more realistic, even more realistic than O gauge. If you take an O gauge model of this, and if it has the same type of details, for some reason trans um, it doesn't transfer over very well for some reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just I'm biased for HO. Always been an HO guy. I did once had O gauge at one point. I was very young, so. Um, but yeah, they did an excellent job with this, with the light weathering and the repainting of this locomotive. So I got to try to figure out how I am going to do these ditch lights. It's going to be tricky because I don't want to destroy the housing. Or what I really want to do is actually try to pop those lenses out and put some new lenses in, if it's possible. Look like they're gluing pretty well. I mean, from what I can see. Uh, yeah, I gotta play around with it, toy around with it, see if it's possible. I may just have to get some totally new ditch lights. Take these out, replace the lights. It's a lot of work. Well, I mean, not a lot of work, but the model has to come apart basically. And rewiring these ditch lights, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really like doing it, but this is what the client wants, so this is what the client gonna get. So, a very nice model. I never was really much of a CSX fan, but lately I've been getting CSX models, and I've been like, that's maybe I should get some CSXs in my collection as well. So without further ado, I'll put it to the test track, and I'll take a look at it. I may do some little tweaks. It has a tsunami decoder in it, so I'll do some little tweaks to it, and that's about it. It's not. It's not going to be a blow by blow video how I do things. I think my next video is going to be that, with my own models that I have sitting in a box. I just had to try to find time to do it. Okay, so next up, I'll have it on the track and you take a look and see how it runs and how these lights will look. Again, excuse for the ambient noise. My computer is actually, like I said before, mining for Bitcoin. So the fan, that's what you hear, is the fans going off on the computer. So it's going to be a little noisy. But besides that, I have taken a look at this model, and there are some issues. And one of the issues that I discovered was that, all right, first, I can understand that the ditch lights are yellow. I get that. But not only the ditch lights are yellow, but also the headlights are yellow as well. Now I don't know what the situation was when this model was put back together, because I have a feeling this one was the model that had the regular bulbs in it. I think this is a pretty old model. The client just happened to find it online, for a pretty good price. Unfortunately, in my opinion, he's still going to be spending hordes of money on this engine in the end. So the lesson to learn is like get the model that you want, and you don't have to go through all these other extra expenses to get it the way you want it. Depending on the model, that is. I mean, this is a Genesis model. It's a high-end model, and these things are not cheap. Even on sale, they're not cheap. So imagine if you have to do all these modifications, you got to pay for these modifications. And, so in the end, you're either going to be paying either the same amount of money if you just got it, if you got the model on a regular price, or you're going to be paying more. And unfortunately, the client is going to be paying more. I'm sorry to say. In the end. So he really didn't get a deal out of this. But, he wanted it the way he wants it. So, we're going to give it to him the way he wants it. Now, what has to happen? Well, the lights, all of them have to be changed. Unfortunately. So, they all got to be taken out and the lights redone. So I'm not too crazy about that. But it's it's part of the hobby, so it is what it is. You just gotta do what you gotta do, right? Another problem: the model doesn't move, and when I put give it track power, track power comes on. That's in Tsunami's fashion, it just comes on. And I managed to get the lights to work and the ditch lights. The lights work fine. But when I put it in motion, unfortunately, this model doesn't move. Even if I change the direction, I noticed that the lights don't even go in reverse, like the reverse lights come on. So I think I know what's wrong. I think it has something to do with a certain CV number has to be changed. Now I don't know if the client or even the modeler that had redone this model, I don't know if they did something wrong, but I think this is misprogrammed. It's not programmed properly. Well, our program has changed somehow, some way. I don't know. But it's up to me to actually address it and fix it. So, I mean, that's basically it. When it comes to models. I still like the model the way it turned out. The painting and stuff like that. And the light weathering, I do like that. I really, really like that a lot. But it's just a question of those yellow lights. I don't know. That baffles me to no end. Why did they decide to put yellow lights? Is that it's the only lights that this person had available? I don't know. Who knows? But client wants this. He wants to change, so we're going to change it and take it from there. So I'm going to turn it on, but you're not going to see. Unfortunately, the camera phone doesn't pick up like certain colors of lights. It doesn't do yellow at all. Yellow is basically white, so you're going to see it as white, but it's really yellow. So actually, this time I got my control cab out, and let's see, do a little something different today. Okay, let's see. All right. As you can see, the lights look white. The actuality, they are yellow. It doesn't matter what angle I put the camera phone on. It is white. But trust me, it's actually yellow. Alright? Alright, so I got it currently in reverse. As you can see here. Hinges in reverse. But the headlights are on. So I'm going to switch it. Switch to forward. And I'm going to give it some power. And no mas, no mas. It doesn't move. Well, the bell works. I know that. The bell works pretty well. And the horn. Yeah, that works. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. So I'm gonna set CV. I think it's CV29. I gotta set the number for that. I think it's bit number. Supposed to set the bit number 1 if I remember correctly. For extended address, because it is set for the 5224 address, so that's the extended address. Because right now I think it's probably set the primary, maybe. We'll see. I'll futz around with it. So I got to tell the client that all the lights got to be changed, and I got to give them a price. All of them got to be changed. That's the sad thing. Except for the number boards. The number boards are correct. Number boards are white. Go figure. Go figure. I just found that out. I don't know. Alright, so next segment. I'm going to start working on the lights. Get the lights, some new lights, get them installed, and we'll take it from there. Alright, so everybody, stay tuned to the next video, and have a good evening.